Hi everyone, I'm X's Horizon. In this segment, I want to talk about one of the most unique and defining features of the D1X motherboard. To be honest, this motherboard wasn't something Soundaware originally planned to develop. In fact, you could say this product exists because our users pushed us to make it. At first, we weren't going to do it because developing an x86 hi-fi motherboard is incredibly difficult, essentially. We were a hi-fi company trying to do what motherboard manufacturers do, but with the goal of doing it even better. This is no easy task. Since 2017, when we became an Intel motherboard partner, we've invested heavily in x86 board development. Even though we released products like the MR2, which sold quite well, from a business perspective, the x86 motherboard project seemed unlikely to yield much return. After the MR2 launched, which was actually the first x86-based hi-fi motherboard in the industry, we decided to pause the development entirely. But as time went on, users started asking us again and again what x86 could really bring to the table. And they were right to ask. First of all, it allows you to run Windows, including stripped-down, audio-optimized builds of Windows, specifically designed for hi-fi playback. That opens the door to an enormous range of high-resolution audio apps, many of which can run in native output mode. Second, because it's a general-purpose platform, it supports Audio Linux, Gentoo Player, and many other Linux-based hi-fi operating systems easily and without any loss in functionality. Third, it can also be used with network bridge systems, such as D1X. So what you're getting is a truly open hardware platform, one that enables users to run virtually any combination of music playback software, streaming apps, or local players they prefer, whether online or offline. This motherboard sits at the very foundation of the system. Today, most digital transports are USB-based, and while AES and coaxial outputs are still used by some, they are no longer the mainstream because they simply don't support the higher bit rates and resolutions that modern hi-fi demands. So now the dominant interfaces for audio transport are USB and Ethernet. And to make those sound great, the source side needs to be top tier. That means your CPU and mainboard architecture must be engineered extremely well to control noise, jitter, latency, and timing accuracy. Because many USB and Ethernet outputs are directly tied to the CPU's architecture. Here's the problem. In the current hi-fi industry, nearly all music server products, whether they're portable players, desktop audio streamers, Android-based machines, or even so-called high-end x86 streamers, they all use consumer-grade components. Most of their power regulation and I/O design is built around switching power supplies. And the boards are either off the shelf or just slightly customized from existing commercial platforms. This approach limits performance. When you reach a certain level of audio quality, the shortcomings become very obvious. You just can't go further without addressing those foundational weaknesses. Sure, even with the industrial-grade boards, you can reach a solid mid to high performance level enough for systems in the 10,000, 30,000 RMB range. But if you want to go full high-end, the master USB output becomes a serious bottleneck unless your mainboard is built to handle it. That's why, in our view, x86 is the best option for truly addressing the full spectrum of audio requirements while maintaining flexibility. Since we already built the MR2 motherboard and proved that we could make a true hi-fi grade x86 board, our users started asking, could you take that same core and make a fully expandable desktop version with even higher performance? That's what led us to resume development and take it to the next level, to push it further, to make it even more high-end and to meet reference grade standards. So this motherboard went through a second round of development, and we ended up with two different versions. The full-size version is only just beginning mass production in September 2024, and is now one of the key components at the heart of the D1X. In short, the D1X is built around a motherboard that's truly designed for pure hi-fi performance. And in the next sections, I'll explain why we believe this is one of the most deeply optimized x86 audio boards in the entire industry. Thanks for listening.